right. So this is it's the Q1. Yeah, I guess it's the Q1 garden update. No, brand new tank. We have a 110 gallon stock tank that I got at Tractor Supply for $85. A fully renovated pond pump that was totally meant for a pond. And a cat litter container that I've made into a giant bubble filter. There are holes on the top of here. Bubbles come out here. It's PVC pipe. Just some filter floss around there. Sucks it in, goes through some lava rock, some more filter, and then up through and back out. Got some moss from the local creek. I sourced a few rocks from the local creek. And broken ceramic pot, which I'm gonna take out because I thought don't do that. This is a solar pump, which is powered by that 5-watt solar panel, and it runs. And there's a plastic clamshell basically that I filled with filter floss, shoved the pump in there. Runs up to this half-gallon container, which I just have this pot sitting on top of to keep stuff out of. And that's also filled with some clay media and some lava rock and a pothos, which is getting stressed out because we're in Texas. But I'm just seeing if I can make it work. You know, that'll probably come out. Strawberry plant, lava rock. These are some rose clippings that I'm trying to propagate, which you can't really see it, but hopefully these will start rooting out soon. And then there's a basil and an onion over on that side. That's a lowly onion from a patch of green onions from before. And then just some random bits and bobs for decoration, you know, like I am Groot. Yes. We have a mint that was in this container, which I ripped out and threw in a pot. It's doing all right. Pepper plants that got overwintered and they're really sad looking. Tomato plants that got overwintered and they're really sad looking. This was the same as that mint plant, but when I put it in here, it just kind of exploded. So that's doing really good. It's just sitting kind of halfway up on a little rock on a pot. Yeah, so this pump and this air stone are both powered by this little solar charger, which keeps it alive like 80% of the day. But when it's not, I take it inside and charge it off of my 400-watt setup. But it just kind of chills out here. Kale died. Swiss chard's doing okay. More wintered pepper plants. More wintered pepper plants. More wintered pepper plants. Baby asparagus. Little tiny baby asparaguses. Hopefully they'll take up. This is Malabar spinach. I thought it died. This thing tanked the freeze that we just had down here. That's kind of crazy. It was all, it really did all just look like this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's already, oh my God. It's getting away from me. There we go. See, it's fine. Actually, we'll just take you. You know, Malabar spinach being from India is probably not the best thing to have seeding in your front yard, but shh, it's fine. It dies during really cold. So we have blackberry plant, brand new. A tray of garlic, which I'm surprised is still going because it warmed up a long time ago. a tomato plant that also is like two years old. This thing also tanked the freeze surprisingly well. We brought it inside after the damage was done though, so we kind of saved the tomatoes, but it's alive. This is a moderately big rose bush, but it hasn't been trimmed well. And then we have a more wintered pepper and another bell pepper, which actually has a rather nice little bell on there. So this is the garden side, basically. All of the water for all of these plants, just the whole thing. Oh, and we have lemon trees. I should show you those. This is a lemon tree that I planted. It's getting on. You know, it's kind of old. It's like 2 or 3 years old. This one is about a year younger than this guy, but is growing so much better. And this was from a cutie orange. So here's hoping. And then because you don't just rely on lemon trees, I have 3 more started here. This is an avocado that sprouted, and so sure, if it wants to, it's not a bell pepper, but if it wants to grow, it can grow. So let me take you to the water collection. Here's the water collection. It is currently empty because I just emptied it out. This is just the mesh screen, kind of sits over it. The water pool's in the center. It doesn't really look like it, but technically we get the house is, you know, triangulated on the top, right? So we get this half, and then this half running down there, except for down there the pipe just, it got hit by this entire, there was a tree over here and it crashed down onto this awning. It took part of the gutter with it. It was during a tornado a long time ago. It ripped all kinds of crap up. This gutter is like hanging off the side of the house. It's not really well attached, okay, is what I'm getting at here. But I'm kind of like the lazy gardener, so like it just pours right here. It just it drenches, you know, conveniently right next to the outlet. So I just put a trash can that I got from my old job right there, mesh over it, it collects the water, and then I store it in these 2 liters. You wouldn't want to drink this. You don't drink it. Do not drink this. But this is where essentially all the water that I get collects. If we get an inch of rain, this barrel will fill up completely. So in that sense, it overflows very easy. But if you can see the state of my patio, overflowing isn't really a problem. What is the stand for this broke, so I need to fix my 400 watts. I don't know, it's been so windy. So once I get these back kind of, you know, the right direction, that is what supplements power when the solar panel out front can no longer keep up. Which usually just happens, you know, at like 2 in the morning. So, and then that battery bank out there has pass-through charging, so yeah. All right, now excuse the clutter in here as well. If you can see, I've been, you know, all work and no cleaning. I'll fix it, I swear to God. These are leftover parts from building the aquaponics saw. Right. These things, uniseals. Oh my God, these things, I was skeptical, but they're amazing. So basically this plus 1 bucket plus 1 chunk of PVC pipe, any length, and you can build one of those little aquaponic things I had out there. Filling it up is kind of the tricky part. Anyway, you see I have all these empty containers here. That's because I bring it inside and I filter the water here. And I do this in my room because it's convenient to get to, and it's not a fast process. It takes time. It takes time. So I have this thing, and this is you want to talk about shoddy systems. This is a shoddy system, but functional. So just like they taught you in survival school, this is a 2-liter container, and I have filled it with sand and charcoal, fluvole carbon, and then a layer of black gravel, and then a fish net just to catch any of the large stuff. Under this, we have the water. It is murky, and this is a really bad time to show this because I just dumped about 2 cups worth of this argonite, basically crushed coral. And that is because I know by nature that rainwater tends to be highly acidic with a very low pH. And I know that most of the fish that I want to keep, my goldfish for instance, like not a low pH. So I put that in there because this is just a step of filtration essentially. Jugs everywhere. Perfect. This filters down, and then basically I pull it from this water, and this can either go straight to the pond, or I have a tank over here, kind of by a window. And this window is just ever so slightly cracked. It was originally just a deep sand bed. I found these I found on the side of the road. They're sweet gum tree seed pods. They looked like I could just boil them and put them in my fish tank, so I did. And I mean, I don't know if you can see over here. There's some like stuff growing on it, but for the most part, the shrimp in here absolutely love it. Either way, I'll come back over. This tank has a couple pothos in it, which are, they're just kind of growing out their roots. They have a little bit of growth. You got some crystal wart. There's some flame moss in the back there. It could be doing better. There is some guppy grass kind of mixed in. And that isn't cyanobacteria. It's just a green light. Don't freak out. There's also some, I think they're Java fern or Amazon sword. I'm not really sure. My brother said they were Amazon sword, but they grow, I think, like Java fern where it grows in a line. Amazon swords, I think, grow in a clump. But anyway, I have a ton of them because it's the same thing that's in this tank, and it's just growing all across that back. It laid a leaf down. Now I have them all over. There's one popping up here. I got one over here. There's one popping up back there. I mean, this tank is just riddled with the things. This tank is also the only tank that does not get the rainwater because this tank has shrimp, and I just don't want to kill my shrimp. I like my shrimp, my crystal shrimp. This tank I use straight from the tap. Now, from the tap, we have straight RO water. We have a $400 filter. It has those canisters. There's 2 of them. It's not the 3 model, whatever. But what it does do is it takes all the chlorine out of the water. And you can test this. And I just ordered some test strips, but I will update y'all when I get those because I'm curious too. And I will be testing water at different stages. However, I know that this works. So I don't need to test something because I know it works. So shrimp love this water because it's super hard. There's a ton of dissolved minerals. With it, we get giant algae blooms. I also put fluvole in here because I had this grass stuff and I wanted to make sure it just had everything. This tank has been an algae nightmare. Even with the shrimp in it, it's just, I fed too much and then it started this whole cascading thing. It's coming back. You see, it's kind of like, it's receding, all right? And I had to do a pretty big water change to suck all this crap out, and it's still, I just can't learn because this giant patch of food. Anyway, The 110-gallon tank outside is to house these 4 shabunkin goldfish. The spade tetras will finally have the home to themselves. They got terrorized by a group of Danios, and then they were cramped in here with these red tetras, and then my brother wanted the Danios, so he brought me 4 goldfish, and he said, here you go, you can go in your aquarium. And I said, cool. And then there's shabunkin. Well, apparently they're more than shabunkin, because I don't know if you can tell, but this guy is getting absolutely massive, because my brother also kept koi. So I believe that these are some kind of shabunkin koi hybrid. At least this one, because he is huge. These 2 look like just good, solid, natural looking goldfish. This is one of those cool comet shabunkins. I mean, it's the right size. This dude's a tank. I don't know. He's built different. You know what I mean? He's built different. And there's some algae on the glass. Sorry, it's trying to get it in focus, but this is a biomedia filter. There's a bunch of bio balls in here. I don't know if you can't really tell, but they're the black, I forget what they're called. It's not the K media. Either way, they're like these black orb things. They just kind of circulate around in there. That is something that takes months to set up, and my colony is not quite active yet. So it just needs a well-established tank, which this tank has been running for years now, and it about 6 to 8 months. So we're getting there, though. We're getting pretty close to where I can say that has a good amount of beneficial bacteria pretty much all throughout it, which I could then move into my pond filter outside if I wanted, or just, the appeal of having a big gulp cup in your fish tank is pretty good too. And since I like pothos, you can hear my dog. See that dog? Is the yappiest. Oh my! What happened to the exposure? See that dog? I don't know what she barks at. She's just out there. Chloe! Quit it! Yeah, you better go. So my filter, if you can't tell, I like pothos. There is just filter floss in here. I have grown so much pothos out of this fish tank. I did have some issues earlier when I was first using the rainwater because of aforementioned pH that I have now rectified. The tank kind of got bubbly, so I put some carbon. This is just a bag, has some carbon in there. That's like my savior pack. If you have a fish tank that's fucking up, you throw a bag of some carbon in there and then just take it out after a week or so, and it helps the tank so much. Don't leave it in there forever, take it out after a while. But I had some foaming issues, and you can see it's kind of breaking up already, like it's barely. We still do have some bubbles but they're not staying anymore. The carbon and the vines, and this just grows to the window. It has fantastic growth. Just put pothos next to a window, it'll be fine. When these filters get dirty, including this one, okay, this one is pretty much that. I just had to clean that one out. I will use a little bit of this water, which is by far the most contaminated, and just, gallon jug, right? You just fill it with some water, squish it around. So then I dump it into my mineralization tank, which is, probably horrifying the most that I have it right here in my room. And, I overfilled it too. I'm going to have to get a towel. But it's fine. It's there. It's full. I just cleaned them out though, so that's my bad. This has an air stone running to it. USB. Bought it from China. I can recommend them as long as you don't accidentally drop them in the fish tank, because it instantly KOs them. So they're awesome until you accidentally drop it in your fish tank, and then they're garbage. So either way, this one runs an air stone down to this tank. There's an air stone in the bottom of there. I duct tape the top of it to keep all the light out, because this light
is on a lot. Not so much anymore because the algae issues. Back up, kitty. So this is my mineralization tank. It's been going for probably 8 months, approaching on a year. And every time I do a filter change, I just take all that gross, nasty water and I just plonk it in there. And then right now it's actually getting to the point where now that it's completely full and there's no more room in it, I will just unplug this air stone. There we go. There we go. There's the air stone unplugged. And let this settle down for probably a couple days. And what I'll do is all those solids and everything in there, all that gross stuff will all sink to the bottom. And I'll just use this same pitcher and just scoop off about a gallon worth of liquid at the top. And recently that had been going into the pond outside, or my aquaponics or my hydroponics system. Now I've combined the hydroponics with my pond, so it would be the aquaponics system. I'll probably just put it in some 2-liter bottles, and then I have my very own homemade fertilizer. Just remember to dilute it, because the stuff coming out of this container is ridiculously potent, and it's amazing because of what it will do to your yard. If you have a patch of grass that needs some greenage and it's just like not happy and there's no substance to the soil, you take a 2-liter of this and just kind of throw it around your yard. You will watch the yard double the next day. It is kind of insane. But yeah, anyway, the problem with this tank is that there's just way too many fish in this tank. These guys are stressed to all hell pretty much all the time. The goldfish are probably enjoying life, but like the poor tetras, and then the nitrates are just skyrocketing. So all the little babies, just not a chance. That's my aquaponics system so far. Hopefully the guppies aren't dead in the morning, and yeah, we'll get you back with the Q2 update or maybe if before then I'm the releasing video of these guys into their new home. But we're going to see if those guppies survive a little bit longer first, because I want to make sure that water is going to be okay. And I got to get all that broken ceramic out of there. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking about that shit. So, the 110 gallon for these guys. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day when y'all can get out of this tank. Anyway, thanks for watching. See y'all later. That one has a poop.